I start to think that these mangaka twins have some very particular tastes. But yeah, it is now once again time to dive into the mangaverse that oftentimes is better than the mainline stuff.
I've made it no secret that I've become a huge fan of the works of the Kamikita twins or Futago. I even bought a children's picture book illustrated by them, which kinda makes me wonder if Miyuki follows them on Twitter too. And while they don't really have a knack for drawing action, they more than make up for it with some really sweet slice of life tales as well as some really dark ones.
I still have nightmares about Damien version 2.0.
But yeah, last time we covered the first volume of the manga adaptation of Hugtto Precure. It had stories like Hana discovering what the true requirements of becoming an adult are, Saya finding and going to great lengths to protect a symbol of friendship she found with her teammates, and the whole team using social media to save the life of Iggy from JoJo.
If only the editors at Anime News Network could use it just as responsibly.
In my opinion, it was a very strong book that told tales that we really should have gotten in the anime. One where the characters actually developed or maintained traits that were dropped way too soon.
Will this volume be able to maintain the momentum of the last one? Well, let's take a look at the second volume of Hugtto Precure's manga to find out.
Our manga opens with the team at the beach.
Hey look, baby! There goes the Kiripati! Aw, isn't that so delightful? They're probably all going to drown at sea.
Emiru, of course, was a little hesitant about being at the beach with its many dangers, but Harry assured her that they'd all be safe with him. This included protecting them from some really creepy bastards hitting on a middle school girl. Seriously, I see some stubble on this shaggy looking dude, it's more than a little icky. Harry did his job, and the girls were able to take in what they really wanted to get out of this trip, looking at totally adorbs Hakutan.
Admit it, you're kinda smiling a little too.
Harry himself had even gone through a lot of prep in order to take the toddler to the beach by looking up a lot of stuff online. This is actually all really good advice, and probably stuff I'll use whenever I go to the beach with my niece and nephew. The Precure had a little fun in the water, and again, the Kamikitas, in spite of specializing in magical girl stuff, showed off how they at least remembered the fact that Ruru is an android by having Emiru ask her mechanical friend if she would be okay in the water. Ruru assured her that she was completely waterproof, and moreover, she was curious about the chemical composition of seawater.
Little stuff like this can go a long way in developing a robot character, as it is important to establish whether or not they can survive at sea.
Curse you, merciful Poseidon!
They tried to convince Harry to join in on the fun, but he clearly didn't want to and tried to cover up the fact that he couldn't swim. Makes sense, Rollins aren't usually known for being the best swimmers, and his friends were understanding. Of course, the stubborn pride of the Kazuma Sato look-alike wouldn't let him run away, and he went in for a dip. However, as soon as he entered the water, something seemed to be amiss. He told the Precure he was just going for a little swim, but a few minutes later, his inabilities caught up with him, sending many beachgoers into a panic over a dead rat in the water.
Oh, so this is the true ending to An American Tale. Seriously, how did 5 survive that thing?
His friends rescued him, and as it turned out, he went swimming because he was looking for something. Specifically, a shell he had gotten from Hakutan earlier in the chapter. For him, it was a precious gift he didn't want to lose, even if it meant risking his own life. So, yeah, kind of a cute story with everyone giving the little guy a group hug, and giving themselves all sunburns. Because apparently, everyone except for Emiru forgot to put on their sunblock. I'm guessing Ruru's synthetic android skin was unaffected by the UV rays. Though, more interestingly, apparently Saya kind of enjoyed having crispy skin.
Yikes. Well, good luck with all that.
Still, the summer months continued into the next chapter, with the Precure trying to do various activities, but we're all suffering from heat fatigue brought upon by their tiny island country's insane humidity around this time of the year.
As someone who spent a semester there studying abroad, I can tell you, this doesn't even begin to illustrate how much of a 24-hour sauna Japan becomes during this summer.
Yet, the heat didn't have any effect on our main heroine because I guess the Precure of Energy has a little extra to burn. She wanted to do activities with her friends, but sidelined them when she realized her friends were a tad bit out of it. She asked Saya what were the best ways to overcome heat fatigue, and again, this manga provides some very informative stuff.
Again, while these books can have some more darker elements, I do appreciate when the Kamikitas include some more educational stuff like this that can be beneficial for both the younger and older audiences.
Still, they really didn't have the time or ability to do much of that, especially with their busy schedules, and thus our heroines started to fall, with Rue in particular going the way of my first smartphone. Hana felt sorry for her friends, but quickly came up with a very Hana solution.
Have I mentioned yet how much the Kamikitas are really into their ships? Or, in this case, it's more of a bit of a harem. I really ought to pick up that book.
Now, what Hana actually meant was that she wanted to take them as a group to see a live performance that night. By then, the humidity had gone down, and they were heading to the cooler backwoods area of their town. Hana provided the drinks and snacks, and they all sat down on those really weird-looking portable chair things.
Speaking of pure curiosity, I have to ask, are these things really all that comfortable? I see them all the time at cons, and they always look so awkward to sit on.
Anyway, her friends were wondering what sort of show they were going to see in the middle of the woods that involved no stage, tickets, or even any other spectators.
Let me guess, Dan Cook doing stand-up?
Hana assured them that they were in for something great, which turned out to be the sounds of the bell crickets. The soothing, almost wind chime-like sound of the little insects put everyone's minds at ease.
Ah, yes. Just listen to those little guys chirp. Whew, I think I even heard cicada amongst all of them. Wait, cicada?!
They then spent the rest of the night just playing with fireworks and feeling more than a little re-energized. Which, of course, was what Hana was seeking the whole time. Oh, and we also got a post-chapter illustration of a cricket resting on Homari's ahoge, and Saya telling her to just let it be. Cute picture and everything, though is it just me, or is Saya looking kind of like a certain precocious purple kitty? But yeah, another sweet, kinda fluffy chapter.
Nothing really much happened in these first two chapters, though they did have some nice moments. Still, I'm not sure if this last chapter we'll cover for today will have anything all that special to it.
I mean, after all, it just opens with the Precure cheering on some school team called Veroni. Nah, I'm sure they have absolutely no significance in the Precure fandom, just like this random nobody right here.
Alright, I'll drop the act. This is obviously a crossover with the OG series, and in some ways, it's actually one of the better crossovers we've gotten in recent years.
The story of this chapter actually started a few days prior when Nagisa accidentally sent a lacrosse ball flying right into Hana's head. She tried to apologize, but Hana was more interested in the fact that Nagisa was a lacrosse player.
Either that, or all the head trauma she suffered throughout the series was finally catching up with her. Kind of leaning towards the latter.
Anyway, Nagisa invited her to come see her team's next game. Honaka pointed out that she and Hikari were planning to cheer for their school's team, to which Hana volunteered to help out, leading us back into our current storyline. And just as a little reminder, the Kamikita Futako's Precure mangaverse is separate from the main line, hence why the Precure leaders didn't recognize each other in this panel.
I bring this up because it will play into this chapter's story.
As in spite of not even really knowing each other, the two Precure leaders were able to establish a deeper connection, with both trying to live up to the expectations of the other. Unfortunately, a minor misplay by Nagisa derailed much of Verone's momentum. Realizing that she was not only disappointing her teammates, but also her new friends, the pressure got to Nagisa and she began to choke more than Kurt Angle during his retirement run. Seriously, dude, how can you mess up your own fair share that badly? Things weren't looking good for Verone, though interestingly enough, Hana was feeling just as down as Nagisa, believing that she had failed her as her cheerleader. Again, it shows this sort of symbiotic relationship these Precure of different eras had developed. As a result, their doubts and concerns had also synced up. Luckily, as her closest friend, Honaka knew Nagisa well enough that she could tell that she still had the ability to mount a comeback. Thus, she and the Hugtto team just needed a little extra push. She suggested to Hana to come up with a new cheer dance that they could all do together.
A group dance they could all do and pull off on the fly. I see ya!
No, thankfully, they went with a classic line dance. A simple yet effective dance that required no real practice to pull off well. Reinvigorated by the cheers of all of her friends, Nagisa managed to lead Verone to victory and the championship. With that, the chapter ended with Harry taking a photo to commemorate the moment, and the two Precure leads exchanging their thanks and promising to meet again someday.
You know, call me crazy, but I think I actually like this better than both of the crossovers we actually got.
The first two chapters of this volume were fine, nothing really spectacular, just fun little self-contained stories with albeit some useful tips on how to overcome the hot summer days. Though of course, the real highlight of this book was the third chapter featuring the OG team. While I won't outright say I hate episode 22 of Hugtto, I do still find it a very frustrating watch. Nagisa and Honoka did most of the fighting, and yet still felt rather superfluous to the events of that episode, which already had enough interesting subplots like Purple Story that got muddled by their presence. They tried to give them more meaning by having them interact with Emu and Ruru, but it wasn't really anything major or stuff they couldn't figure out for themselves. Here, however, they managed to impart more to the whole Hugtto team without the need of getting involved in their fights. The theme of this chapter was teamwork and how it could extend past even the normal playing field. Both Hana and Nagisa wanted to live up to the expectations of the other. Nagisa wanted to put on a good show for her new acquaintance, while Hana wanted to support everything Nagisa had built towards. If that doesn't have at least a little meta context behind it, then I don't know what does. I think it was made even better by the fact that all of them were unaware that they were Precure in this universe. It was just two girls trying to give all they could to the other. This in turn also included some of their instabilities. Yeah, while the OG team is unquestionably the strongest, that's pretty much edged into the lore at this point, that doesn't mean they can't share the same problems and anxieties as the newer teams. Still, what truly makes the Precure strong are their respective teams. And when those teams can come together, they create something greater than the sum of their parts.
Sorry for the short review, but if you see my latest Star Twinkle review, you'll know that con season is just around the corner and I'm going to be a little busy for the next few weeks. Don't worry, once it's all over, it's back down to brass tacks. And until then though, farewell for now my friends, and... do you hear them? I'll get back to you in October, just leave me alone already!